this is such a people industry. You think, oh, I'm just going to perfect my craft and I'm just going to get the science of it right. I'm just going to understand how to do this. I'm going to create the best products. If you can't handle people, you're not going to get a call back. I've had people that they are phenomenal, know way more than I do, and most of the people on the set, but they didn't get the call back because they were absolutely rude, they're unprofessional, didn't show up on time, all these different things.
Welcome back to another episode of the iFilmmaker podcast. My name is Ariel Martinez. Big Mike with us over here. You've graduated from being hairy with the wax and all. So congratulations on that, sir. We have a fun one today.
We do.
I like this topic because these are kinds of the jobs that make us sort of happy in a sense. So let's jump right into it. All right. Totally moved the mouse on that, but it's all good. So we want to talk today about high pay for minimum effort, right?
High pay for minimum effort. I like these when they come.
Yeah, so high pay for minimum effort, basically when you get a job, right, they have a great budget, and it's not so much that because you're not, it feels weird, right? Because you're barely doing anything, but you're getting a very good budget. A budget where normally you'd be hiring more people, you'd be renting out more gear. So at the end, the profit is pretty normal. But on jobs like these, the client comes to us and says, "Hey, this is our budget, and this is what we need." And we're like, is that it? You don't need anything else, right? And it's nice. It's nice. It's probably well above budget, and you know, if you don't have to hire anybody, you don't have to like have all these expenses overhead. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, plenty of times. It's fortunate when it does. So I've worked with a few people that I've worked consistently with, and we've had gigs in studio many times where we'll get jobs where we're busting our butts, right? We're killing ourselves, right? And it's 12 hours, lunch isn't included, all that good stuff, and we kind of feel like we're getting abused and all that good stuff. And then they'll come around another job working with the same people where we don't have to do pretty much anything, short day, we're getting full rate. And that was one example where we all agreed, hey, you got to take the bad with the good. You got to be able to take, know that there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but man, that it's time to definitely appreciate when you do get those really good paying jobs or really low hours.
Right.
To just take it, don't feel bad about it, because there's so many days and so many projects where it just takes life out of you with the requests that are made. And I'll never forget, there was a European company that hired me. And when they contacted me, I said, okay, this is what you need. Okay, great. Do you have a budget in mind? Yeah, we have this XX number. And I immediately thought, okay, so I got to fully crew this thing out. All right. So again, tell me what it is that you want to achieve. And they said this, then this. And I was like, okay, so one-man band. And really there's no necessity. I don't even need to hire an audio guy. Like, it's literally the simplest thing. And I felt guilty, to be honest, because I was like, well, we could do it for less, but I'm like, no, I've done things for so much less that this will balance that out.
That's so funny.
And it was good.
Yeah, I think that it rubs our character the wrong way, because you don't want to take advantage of anybody. You want to give fair pricing. But at the same time, yeah, like that's actually a good point. I never thought about that. We have done work for a lot less money where we don't necessarily take a loss because it's more money than we would have had if we didn't do the job, but it's not at our normal rate. But at the same time, you're not scamming your client because that's their budget, right?
That's what they would pay someone else.
That's what they would totally pay somebody else. So basically, you're bringing
also at the same time, At the same time, though, if they were to hire someone, and I don't want to knock people coming out of school, but let's just say like someone with just less experience that can't even handle it,
Sure.
then there's a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
And because you and I, and many people we work with, we can handle these kind of gigs,
Yeah.
one man band. If that's not really the style I like to work
Yeah.
like, but when it comes, we have the skill set to be able to meet the requirements or meet the expectations too. So it's not just like anybody could just do it either.
Sure.
So yeah.
Understood. And listen, the reason why they have such a high budget is because that's what the expectation is. That's what the price for that was, right? So, but I have another example here. Um, I had a job where it was quoted. It was back when I was shooting with the FS7, and I quoted the client. They asked me for 3 days to shoot. They needed the FX7, et cetera, et cetera. And I brought my lighting kit. I brought, they said they needed me to be a B cam on this production. And I said, sure, no problem. $1,500, the flat rate, not flat rate because everything was atomized, but that was their quote. $1,500 a day for 3 days. Not a problem. Sure, we'll do it. Let's get to work. I go in on day one and I arrived at the location, which ends up being a hotel, and they have me sit down in this meeting, this big meeting where there's like 15 people, 15 to 20 people roughly, conversing about the project and what's going to happen. And they introduce me as the second camera operator. Great. Hello, everybody. They talk about the game plan, yada, yada, for about an hour. And then, all right, great, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like,
You didn't do
what's
anything?
going on here? And then I was concerned to ask somebody, when are we shooting? Because like I would seem so unprepared, right? I'm thinking we're shooting 3 days, so I ended up
And you don't want to look like you're just don't understand what the project's
right. So
about.
I identified
Lose confidence in you.
I identified the person that was probably, from what I could tell, the lowest ranked person in the room. I'm thinking an assistant or somebody that's a small producer or whatever. So I walk up to them and said, "Hey, are we doing anything today, or are they still prepping, or are we shooting tomorrow?" It's like, no, we're done for today. The prep day is the shoot day is on, I want to say Friday or something like that. Basically not the next day, but the following day after that. I said, okay, so tomorrow we're doing a practice
Pre-light or
pre-light
something.
Says, yeah, we're having another meeting same time tomorrow. I'm like, all right, great, not a problem. So I go, I bring my gear, I bring everything, and it's another 1 hour meeting.
Oh my
Another
goodness.
1 hour meeting. And I quoted this at $1,500 a day. I'm going there for 1 hour.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, I started feeling bad. And listen, and then I go across the street. These people are prepping this big tennis court. This is with Venus Williams, like the sister of Serena Williams. And they're doing this big time commercial. There was literally like 40 people on set, grips, big generator, huge catering. Like, they had money for all this stuff. And I'm like, what's going on here? So that second day, I'm like, okay, hold on. I got to chill for a bit. Like, I got to do something. So I stuck around after the meeting. They said, you don't have to. And I'm like, I feel like I kind of have to. Like, I'm here, And
Yeah.
mind you, it's not a short drive. It was about an hour drive from where I was. So I stuck around after for the pre-light, but the DP's there coordinating all that stuff. Like, they got this guy from Italy or something. Like, I don't know. And I just stuck around to see what they were, lighting and how they were lighting it. And I basically felt useless, like I'm just a second camera operator. It was very interesting. Very interesting. And I felt weird. I was there. I stuck around for like 2 hours after the meeting.
Yeah.
So I was there for like 3 hours total. And
So essentially, you were basically B cam for that shoot, though,
yeah,
right?
it was just a B cam.
They just didn't need you on set yet or
Not
anything
yet
like that.
at all.
Wow.
So then day 3 comes in, and that was a heck of a shooting day. Like, that was like a 12, 13. It got up to like 13 hours, I think. It was, and it was so crazy because every shot that was taken was literally a few seconds because the A cam was the Phantom. So everything
Oh,
about this,
hello.
everything about this was going to be all slow motion, and it actually looked really, really nice.
Wow.
And I was just getting a ton of shots. Wherever the A cam was, I was there. Actually, no, it wasn't only the Phantom. They did some shots with I want to say Alexa Mini or something like that. It was interesting, but anyways, as tired as I was on the third day, like the shooting day, obviously I reminded myself, listen, you just got 2 really good free days, so you
Yeah.
better chill.
Yep.
Um,
No
no
complaining.
complaining, man. So that was
Yep.
definitely one of those that I felt, I didn't feel icky. It was like, how did this happen? Is this on purpose?
Yeah.
Like one of those deals. Uh, but I don't know. I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna be crying about this.
No, I doubt it. No, and you got to take them, because there's a lot of jobs where you bust your butt. So that's good. So I just recently had a job on Monday, actually,
Okay.
where I had a budget for 1,200 for the day to shoot with my gear, and I had quoted to have PAs and sound and all this stuff, and they just brought me down to just one, just myself. So I did a super simple job. So I get there and I'm thinking, okay, so 1,200 is what I got for this. Okay, cool, no problem. I come in early, just make sure everything's good, and we start shooting at 9 o'clock. Came 11 a.m. They said, all right, I think we got it all, and I was like, what? I mean,
Yes.
I'm looking at all the stuff we got to get done, and yeah, we got it all done. But then I said, can we? I felt guilty. I'm like, can we shoot anything else just to give us some more options in post? And they're like, well, I think we've got it.
Yeah.
If you want, it was one of those things like, if you want to go around and get some stuff, but we've got everything we
Right.
need. And so I did that anyway, just because I felt so
Sure.
guilty,
Sure.
and spent like an extra hour just to. They weren't even there. They left, and I'm like, I just feel
Yeah.
bad. And it was nice,
Yeah.
man. It was nice, that pleasant surprise. My wife was like, "Wait, you're coming home now?"
Yeah. That's nice. Those are really nice. But one of the things I think, as I think about all these jobs and things that happen, that I'm sort of thinking about, what happens when it's the other way around, in a sense that the amount of work that you do for the amount of money that you're being paid. Do you ever, like, going to a job, they're not paying much, it's not a high paying job? How's your demeanor? How are we supposed to approach jobs like that? Do we give them what they're expecting? Do we do our best always? That, I feel like some people, and I'm not putting my opinion in this yet. I do see that happening in some people, right? Like, I've seen people, in especially people that I hire, it's the budget that we just had, unfortunately. The demeanor is like, they don't care about the job, or not even people that I've hired, the client brought in. And there was an audio guy at one time that seems like they didn't care about the job. Like, I don't know what they were paying him, but I'm like, man, I wonder if he doesn't care about it because they're not paying him much. What do we do at that time? Do you give the same level of service and attention to detail regardless of the pay, or should we?
Absolutely not. I'm miserable the entire time, and I make sure everybody
There you
knows it.
go.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No. To me, there's a few things, a few ways to look at this, and I actually have a story that recently happened to me. My thing is all about integrity.
Okay.
It's all about integrity. So when you're building integrity, it connects to your character. When someone hires you, a lot of times there are many other competitors who can do exactly what you do, but what makes you stand out from the rest is how you conduct your business. How are you? How do you talk? I mean, simple things like, I had a client didn't want to hire a PA that I had brought them on board just because they didn't like not they called it aura and energy, but they didn't like the personality of the person. And I was like, that's interesting. When I'm on set, I think a lot of people don't realize this. If you're a freelancer or you work in this industry and you have the perception that this is not a people industry, you're totally mistaken. This is such a people industry. You think, oh, I'm just going to perfect my craft and I'm just going to get the science of it right. I'm just going to understand how to do this. I'm going to create the best products. If you can't handle people, you're not going to get a call back. I've had people that they are phenomenal, know way more than I do, and most of the people on the set, but they didn't get the call back because they were absolutely rude, they're unprofessional, didn't show up on time, all these different things. So for me, when it comes to dealing with the client, there's a few different factors. Is this a client that's a one-time and they're gone, or is this a client that is going to possibly be recurring? And we've heard that a million times. But this recent one that I had, it was a recurring client, and they started off with a good budget, fair budget, and it was a long-term project, and I found myself in a sense, like some people would say, I got screwed over,
Right.
right? So I started off with an agreement, no contract, which is always never fun, but started off at a good pay. Next thing you know, they said, this is what's happening, this is what's happening. We still need to get all this work done because it's a long-term project, but it's going to have to drop your rate down, I mean, significantly. Like significantly. I'm talking about one of those drops that makes you question whether to continue, makes you question how are you going to show up? How are you going to be present? And I decided my character is more important. It's who I am. It's what's long lasting.
Right.
This is a recurring client. And so my integrity decided I'm going to still give the same effort, if not more, so they could see that first off, I'm responsible. At the end of the day, I was DPing. I'm responsible for the whole thing. And if I don't show up and I don't give them everything that they want, they're going to go, oh, this guy is affected by just money. He's just money driven. And so what happened is I accepted to get this thing done. I got it done.
Right,
it was,
but
yeah, exactly. And then I got it done. And you know what? They came back to me and they thanked me profusely for dealing with this professionally, dealing with great character, and they already gave me 2 other jobs at full rate again.
Right.
So it came right back to me. But it was like going through the fire. You find out what someone is made of. They are fully committed to continue working with me because they saw what I was willing to do for them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've definitely had positive experiences continuing to work with clients at a lower price than I normally charge. And it's not really because of this, but it's because they're great people to work with. They really are. And I prefer to work with somebody that's better to work with for a little bit less money. I said a little bit less money than somebody that's willing to pay my normal rate. And they're just impossible to work with because at the end of the day, your attitude, if somebody affects you that much that you hate working with them, I do not want to work with them, man. And I've honestly, I've rejected work because of that specific reason. I really have. I've referred them to different people, or I just say I'm busy, it really comes.
I've done the same thing.
It comes down to that. And I just don't want to work with them. But when I've continued to work with the people that, and one example of this is one of my clients, I've been working with them for I think 7 years at this point. They're still trying to pay me the same thing that they were paying me 7 years ago, which is not the same. But you know what? They're such fun people to work with. That's just kind of the level of content that they're putting out there. And that's sort of what they're willing to pay. But more than anything, it's fun to work with them. However, they've referred me, the people that I've directly worked with, right? It's been a couple of them now, have actually given me big clients, have pointed me in a direction or referred other clients to me. But I'm talking big clients where
so it's paid off.
Like, man, it was beneficial in the long term to keep this small client. And I'm not saying this is the same thing for everybody, but it was just fun to work with them. It wasn't a hassle. I didn't lose money. It wasn't my normal rate. And I'm not rejecting work that at my normal price, but they were just genuinely fun people to work with, Again, the way I always see it is it's more money than you will have made if you don't take the job, right? I'm not saying go out there and take a $200 job, right? That's not what I'm saying either. If you're at that level, you're at that level. It's fine. Do it. But it's just not where I'm at, So anyways, you have to evaluate the work and the work, the payment and all that stuff. But also think of that other factor, that other variable where they can potentially bring in work depending on how you deal with them, and it's been fantastic for me. So you have to look at that end of the spectrum as well. And then, at some point you're getting much more money than work you're putting into it. So I think it goes full circle. It really does. It really does pay off. People don't see that first. But like you said, the whole character thing, like, it's not fair to your client if you're going to take a job and you're literally going to put half the effort that you normally do just because the pay is not the same. That's not fair to your client. The responsible thing to do there is to refer them to somebody else, and somebody that, you know, would probably could use the money, somebody that could use the experience. And I think that also inherently betters the industry. It betters the community. You're helping build people that are not at your level, and I think it's good for everybody. Your client's happy, they're happy. It's not a hassle for you. Just send them to somebody else. I think that's good overall outcome. Dude, well, I think this one was a great one. It was a fun one.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, man, I love kind of rehashing some of the cool experiences we've had of making a lot of money, little time or little effort, and knowing that there's other jobs that you know might be reversed, but it's a give and take.
Well, anyways, dude, thanks so much for coming on once again. Thank you guys for listening, and remember, you could always catch these episodes over on YouTube. We have a second YouTube channel now where it's just highlights and nice snippets from the full episodes. You can check all that out over at ifilmmakerpodcast.com. We're on all the platforms. Follow us on social media. Follow Mike. What's your handle once again?
TN Studios Inc.
TN.
Top notch. TN Studios Inc.
TN. T as in...
It's going to be right there in the lower third, as in top notch, because that's the service I provide.
Those listening to this, it'll be in the show notes. Whoever DN Studios is just got a free handle, a free shout out. All right, dude. Thanks for coming on. See you on the next one.